Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Come in here, sit down with me, open your Bible up, and let's study today Psalm 7. The second half, we're going to be today in verses 12 and 13. Today we get to see some of the architecture that we don't normally see concerning the Lord, and that is we go into his battle closet, we go into his weaponry, his armory, and we get to see some of the things that are there. I hope that you've noticed over the last week, and also starting out this week, I have an extra little piece attached to the description of the podcast, which is an advertisement for a friend of mine who's written and produced an album of music which he takes out of the Psalter. It's basically just the Psalms to music. And if you'd like to hear some really good music, because he is a very talented musician, his name is David Mize. I hope that you'll get a copy of Brother Mize's music. It's available on Apple Podcasts or Apple Music, and it's also available on Spotify. You'll find those links in the description below, so please check that out, get a copy, and enjoy some great music, the Psalms set to music by my friend David Mize. Today we're going to be looking at 12 and 13, and I hope that you'll read along with me. If you can't, let me read these for you. If he does not turn, he will sharpen his sword. His bow is bent and strung. So for him are prepared all the instruments of death. He will make his arrows hotly pursue. Now that's my translation. I hope that you're reading another translation so that you could compare the two. Verse 12, if he does not turn. Well, I think that the question that we should ask is, turn from what? What's he going to turn from? Well, he needs to turn from his anger, doesn't he? Because that's what we had at the end of verse 11. He's angry every day. Who's he angry with? He's angry with the wicked. He's angry with their wickedness. And so if he doesn't turn from his anger, well, something's going to happen. And here's what's going to happen. He will sharpen his sword. Oh, so now we've walked into the armory of heaven. God has a glittering sword, and he's sitting there at his bench, and he's sharpening that thing. Can't you just see him stroking with that whetstone, the blade, and he's making it sharp? He will sharpen his sword. Not only that, but his bow. He has a bow hung on the wall in his armory, and he takes that bow down, and he gets the string out of its case, and he puts the string on one end, and he bends that bow with his great might, and he strings that bow. Only he can string that bow. And now that bow is sharp and ready. It is strung. The tension has been placed on the string. Verse 13, so for him are prepared all the instruments of death. Well, it's just not a sword, and it's just not a bow, although that would be enough for him. Because can you imagine if his sword came gliding down upon the earth, or upon any one individual, or any group of individuals? But it's not just a bow, and it's not just a sword, but it's all the instruments of death, whatever they might be. And you know, our God is a very creative person. He has plenty of instruments of death. He will make his arrows hotly pursue. Well, again, all of this is dependent upon that very first phrase, if he does not turn. So if he doesn't turn from his anger, something's going to happen. He's going to sharpen his sword, string his bow, prepare all the instruments of death, and make his arrows hotly pursue. Who? Who are the arrows going to hotly pursue? The sinner, the wicked, the perverse. Those are the ones he's going to hotly pursue with his arrows. So he's getting all this ready. He's ready to execute his great anger, his wrath, with his instruments. But something is going to intervene. We'll talk about that tomorrow, beginning in verse 14. I hope that you'll join me then here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.